Hello, people, and welcome to the show. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about where are we? What's going on now? And what is the status of the modus of operations in the House and in the Senate with respect to impeachment? I'm going to bring you up to date as far as I know and what the implications are about that. And then, of course, we're going to talk about this whole House members getting COVID during the lockdown situation. And what does that all mean? And I want to talk a little bit about sort of managing expectations and dealing with the way people are behaving around this COVID thing. And then, of course, I've got your Q&A. So it should be a good show. Let us start out with where are we? Good news has come out in the last few hours. Important and influential Republicans like Liz Cheney, yes, I did say the words Liz Cheney, and Adam Kinzinger, and some others, Republicans, have said that they will support the impeachment of Donald Trump. Now, hard to know if they are doing so with a, strong emotional attachment to it, or whether they believe that it won't really matter because it won't pass the Senate. But if you know Trump's followers, they're very intolerant of anything they perceive to be disloyal to Trump. So it's not without personal risk to come out and say that you support the impeachment of Donald Trump. His minions will definitely cop an attitude about that. And so the ones who are doing it now, I suppose one would say better late than never. It's pretty close to so late it doesn't matter, but I'll take it. I'll take it. If you are willing to stand for the defense of the Constitution, if that's the only thing that you're willing to stand for and to be against sedition and insurrection, I'll take it, because that's a heck of a lot better than being supporting of insurrection and sedition. And there's plenty of folks in the House who think it's wonderful. So I'll take the ones that are allies in the fight to protect the Constitution and the peaceful transition of power. But what does that mean with respect to the Senate? So a couple things that I need to point out. Number one, we still don't have our two senators from Georgia. I have done a little hunting and pecking around my friends in Georgia, try to figure out, well, what does that mean? When are we expecting them to get sworn in? Word on the street is that they are going to get certified around the 15th of January, which would mean that they would be sworn in immediately thereafter. So there's a good chance that they will be in the Senate prior to the end of Donald Trump's presidency. That's a good thing. But that still doesn't actually change control of the Senate, because that changes when Kamala Harris becomes the president of the Senate, when she is sworn in as vice president of the United States. However, a couple things that are additional wrinkles in all of this. Wrinkle number one. Mitch McConnell is making some interesting mouth noises at the moment. I call them mouth noises because I cannot assert that they are truths of any sort. But he has been implicating and indicating and sort of nudging that he may not be opposed to putting the vote on the floor. That's big, because up to this point, holding Donald Trump accountable for anything has been a non-starter, because he just will not put the vote on the floor. So procedurally, his willingness to put it on the floor would be a big deal. Second of all, there's the question of, do we have the votes, even if we don't have the two Georgia Senate seats? And I think that there might be the votes, maybe, but there's an additional wrinkle here, which is the Senate vote, just like the House vote, is based on the majority of the 2/3 majority of those present at the time of the vote, which is, by the way, the rule with respect to pretty much any vote in the House and Senate, is that whatever majorities are conscripted, be it simple majority or super majority or 2/3, it's of the folks there to vote, right? Because no law makes it, they're not going to hold somebody against their will to be in the chamber to vote. So if somebody is not there for whatever reason, they're not there. And in the past, there have been very important votes for which various members have chosen to absent themselves, because an absent person is neither a yay, nay, or an abstent, or a no vote, right? Because those are the three things you can do as a member. You can say yes, no, or I am not voting. But if you're absent altogether, you don't count in the total, right? So if you are not voting, you are still counted in the total of the members that are there, and you affect how many yays or nays you need to pass or fail something. But if you're not there at all, then you don't count in the total number. So it's not 2/3 of the 100 senators, it's 2/3 of whoever's there. I say this because maybe there's some folks that won't be there. Don't know. I mean, it's not inconceivable that some folks might get arrested between now and then, or absent themselves voluntarily between now and then. It's harder to be mad at someone who was not even there if they say there's a good reason. Like if I were a GOP senator right now, I would indicate that I'm quarantining, because Mitch McConnell has not created a methodology to vote from long distance vote. I think the House does have such a procedure because Nancy Pelosi did that, but the Senate does not. So if for some reason you think you might have been exposed to COVID or whatever, maybe you are quarantining and you're not going to be there for the vote. Now, I'm not saying I know any of this, the intentions of anybody to be there or not be there. I'm not claiming inside knowledge. I'm simply saying that there are various moving parts here that make it less than clear, 100% clear as to what's happening and how it's going to shake out. So I'd love to be able to tell you that I can put at ease your uncertainty, put to rest your uncertainty. I cannot. And it's been this way for a long time, right? Where we just cannot get our heads around what is happening from day to day. But there's only 10 more days of this hot noise. So hang in there. That's all I can say. The status of things is the ball is moving in the right direction from some surprising quarters. But we're not in the red zone yet, right? We're at 1st and 22 on the, 1st and 10 on the 28-yard line, right? We're over the midway point, but we are not inside the 10 yet. So hang in there. But I'm going to make an entreaty to you. If you have not programmed into your cell phone the number for Congress, then do it with me right now. Go get your phone. Yes, right now. I'll be stroking Ziggy over here while you go get your phone. Go get your phone. And then program this number. 202-224-3121. (202-224-3121). 202-224-3121. Program that in your phone, and then periodically throughout the day, hit the number and come up with a different name. It doesn't have to be your member of Congress or your senator, although it's always a little better if it is. The thing here, this is the game, and this is the thing you need to know. What moves the members is not your message. They give a damn about your message, to be honest. What they want to know is the volume of calls, either yay or nay, in support or in opposition, because that is how they know how their constituents are responding or where the pressure is. So if the yays are cascading numbers and the nays are like just in the single digits, then clearly they are now given an indication that there's risk in saying nay when the overwhelming majority of calls of people are wanting yay. So it's about the volume. You do not have to be erudite or brilliant in your message, and it's unlike you're going to get a live person. There's a chance you may not even get through the switchboard. Don't worry about not getting through the switchboard. Even if you don't get through the switchboard, the call is recorded as having come in. That a call was hit the system, and that will be in the tally of total calls. It's about volume, not content. Make the calls so that they can be counted in the tally, and your members and the other members are going to get a tally of like 60,000 calls to do something versus 10 to not do it, right? That's the kind of dynamic that can really change a hesitant member's mind. Now, it is easier to change the mind of a hesitant House member because they're always up for re-election every 2 years. But there are 22 GOP seats and 20 senators up for re-election. 2 are retiring. That means go for broke on those GOP senators that are up for election in 2022. They're the ones that are actually going to be worried about whether or not they're pissing off the voters and the donors enough and not removing this guy. So think hard about who you're calling, but don't get caught up on it having to be your person. It doesn't have to be your person. It has to be any person that would worry about pissing anybody off, really, but anybody that's going to give or pay attention or, use their social media or give money, right? So do that. If you want to move the needle to get Donald Trump removed, not just impeached, then you're going to have to do the legwork too, and that is calling those senators and making their lives an absolute misery until they do what is right. And I mean that metaphorically. I don't believe or cut into violence. All right. That's it for section 1, and I will check you out in section 2. If you like what you just heard, you can find out so much more and hear so much more on my Patreon channel, patreon.com/PamKeithFL. That's where you hear the rest of this discussion, and there's lots more to share.